see. I'm looking at myself, not the camera. Hello, welcome back. It is so good to see you. Today, we are going to talk all things baby and finding out that I was pregnant. Probably one of the biggest moments of my life to date. So yeah, it's probably worth noting that our baby was not planned. I'm not saying like it's not something we ever wanted in life, like of course we did. It just was not the right time for us at all. And if I'm being completely honest, like I'm 14 weeks away from giving birth and it's still not the right time for us. At the time that we found out that we were pregnant, I was literally like 2 months into marriage, like got the keys for our new house that we were renovating a week before we found out I was pregnant. We both like in business, and so we were starting out because we're both super young as well. Like I'm only 22, he's only 23, so we were like starting out on like loads of different things. We were starting out in our businesses, which meant we didn't have, you know, super reliable finances. We were starting out on the property ladder, meaning that we had just bought a house. We had no idea what it was going to cost us, as well as spending a load of money renovating the place, like totally starting our new lives together, when we found out that actually everything that we'd planned was just going to disappear, essentially. Because like we'd always had this dream of like obviously getting married, and like everyone always asked, why did you get married so young? Like surely you want to live your life. For us, like we always wanted to live our lives like together, because we always knew we wanted to spend like forever together and whatever. So like obviously we got married, super excited about like everything that was like ahead of us, and then we literally found out that or at least I found out that I was pregnant. Because I think like sometimes like when you watch it in the films, it's always like either like this big planned thing, they've been trying for ages for a baby and then they get their baby, or like they're married and then they have a child and like they find out together and it's like, babe, we're pregnant, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. For me, finding out I was pregnant, like it was not like a, oh my gosh, this is an amazing moment. Like I took 4 tests because I hoped, like if I'm being completely honest, I hoped that like it was a joke. Someone once said to me, you'll know when you're pregnant. Like there's like an inner knowing, like you just know that you know. No, that is not my story at all. Like literally, I did not even think that at all. If I'm being completely honest, like I changed my contraception, so my mood swings, like the fact that like realness, my boobs was hurting, like all of that kind of stuff, I genuinely thought it was because I changed my contraception and my body was like readapting to it all. Because let's be real, girls, some crazy things happen when you go on the pill or you go off the pill, and like you change things. Like it's wild. You guys would never understand what happens to a girl when she does the whole contraception journey, but that's a different thing. So for me, like because obviously I just started all of that, like again changing it all, like I had no reason to really suspect that I would be pregnant. Never once thought that I was pregnant. So when I took the test, it wasn't that like, you know, I wanted to be pregnant, I was expecting to be pregnant. I was literally taking a test to confirm that I wasn't. I was about to go in the shower before going to watch Frozen 2 for my sister's birthday. Like it was on her birthday. Like it was such a chill thing that I was like, oh, I'll just take one just to make sure that I'm not. A couple of months before, obviously I'd had my bridal shower, so my mum's best friend had bought me a pregnancy test. She was like obviously like, you know, oh my gosh, you're gonna need this, you get married, ha ha ha, all this kind of stuff. But when I actually like took the test, and then obviously I weed on and it came back positive, I was thinking, oh my gosh, it was Des. Des is the one that gave me this, and Des is like a massive joker. Like I bet these tests are these ones that you wee on and they always come back positive. That was my mind frame. But anyway, like at the same time, there was also something in me that was like, actually, this could be a thing. I was a bit panicky because I was like, these are not the lines that are supposed to come up. I also had it in the back of my mind of, okay, maybe this is like a joke test or whatever. But there was something in me that was just like, no, Carys, like this actually feels like it could be real. Ben was away at the time. Ben's my husband. I don't even know where he was that day, but he was like coming back late or something like that. I was like, who the heck do I call? Me and my sister Fionn, like, we are so close. And so when I found out that I was pregnant, obviously, like, she was the first person that I told. Like, my husband was not the first person I told. Like, no one was the first person I told. Like, my sister was the first person I told. Because I was just like, I had to tell someone, I had to get it out of my head, because I was like, what is happening? Like, what do I even do? And it's so weird because, like, everything in my mind just felt so irrational. And, like, when I look back, I'm like, yeah, why did I call my sister? Like, why did I do this? Why did I do that? But, like, the realness is, like, in that moment, like, you don't know how you're going to react. And, like, I think sometimes there's an expectation on you to feel a certain way when you find out that, you know, you've got new life come in, and, you know, and I totally get that. And, you know, I totally understand there's so many people that can't have kids, and there's so many other bigger stories out there. I felt so guilty for not being excited. I felt so guilty that this isn't what I wanted. Like, I remember phoning my sister and she was like, that's fine, we can deal with it. I'm 21, I can't have a kid, I'm too young. And I listed all of the reasons, like, why this shouldn't be happening. At the same time, I still had this thing of, but what if it's a joke? So we decided, okay, we'll go get some more tests. She was away as well. So I was literally by myself this whole time. Like, nobody knew about it. I had to lie to my mum as to why I was going to the shop before we were about to go to the cinema. I need to go get popcorn. She's like, but we've got popcorn. I was like, yeah, but I want salted popcorn. We'll just get it at the cinema. I was like, no, it's going to be expensive. And she's like, since when do you care about cost? It was just like, it was so bad. And in my head, I was like, I just want to get a freaking pregnancy test to confirm this whole thing. I went to the shop, got the pregnancy test, came back, we did it again, came back positive. Great, there it was, like 3 pregnancy tests confirming that my life was about to change forever. So what do you do? Like, what, like, when you watch it in the films, or even like when people talk about like how when they announce that they're pregnant and stuff, like they've taken their test, but no one really knows what the heck you do after that. I was like, you know, who do I even phone? Like, I don't have a number for a midwife. I don't have, do you know what I mean? I was like, who do I even tell about this? I just went to the cinema. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go watch Frozen 2. And it was just like such a surreal, like I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was crazy. And it does seem like just yesterday, but it also feels like a million years ago. It's such a whirlwind journey, because at the same time as like, I'm feeling guilty for not being excited and feeling like, you know, like a bad person because it's not what I wanted and whatever, there's still that other side of you that's like, oh my gosh, this is actually amazing. What your body can do, like the fact that my body was already like growing a human being, like the fact that all the changes I'd already experienced was related to that I wasn't going crazy, is such an amazing, amazing, incredible thing to know that that's all happening. But at the same time, like, you're fearful, you're, in my case, like guilty, you're not excited, you are excited, you're like, this is great. Like, it's such a crazy, crazy, crazy experience. Next morning, woke up and I Googled, like, who the heck do I tell? Because, like, it's one thing being pregnant and taking the test and seeing that it's come up, but it's another thing then of what happens after that. Which actually turns out you just phone your doctor and then they just refer you to the midwife. Long story short, like, something had happened that morning that basically Ben just kept pushing and pushing as to like, why was I going to the doctor? Like, you know, am I okay? Is everything alright? For me as a person, like the first person that I ever want to tell anything to is Ben. He is literally like my best friend, husband, everything. Yeah. So that's like the realness of like our relationship. But what I found was with like the pregnancy, I just did not want to tell him. I didn't even know what I was afraid of, but I think like there's something in me that like I really want to protect him. I really want to like make sure that like he's always okay. I want to make sure that he's always living his best life. And like I kind of felt a bit like, oh, I've shammed it for him. It takes two, we all know this, but I genuinely felt like I'd shammed him, and so I was like, I don't even know how he's gonna react. All these different thoughts are going through my head, and as much as like I wanted to tell him because that's what was happening in me and I wanted to kind of confide in him, I was also like, I can't tell him because I don't want him to think that I've like screwed up his life, or like, you know, I don't want to make him feel worried, or I don't want to add anything, like any weight to his life. But basically, long story short, like I just said to him, I was like, I took 3 pregnancy tests yesterday and they all came back positive. And he just looked at me and he went, what? And I was like, yeah. And he was so excited. Like, he was like, this is awesome. Like, he was like, oh, this is class. Like, so excited. I was like, what? Like, what? This is not the reaction that I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? Then I was going to the doctor and doing all of that. And, like, he was involved in that, which was super awesome. My midwife, when I called them to book the appointment to go to see them that day, she was the first person to congratulate me. And was it planned? I said, no. I was like, but it's not really like a problem. And she went, oh, well, congratulations then. And it was like, when she said congratulations, it was literally like, oh my gosh, this is happening. You know, oh, you gotta take this vitamins for your baby's bones to grow. And you know, and you're just like, what do you mean, my baby? But they were just so good. They were so kind. They gave me so many books, so many resources. And they even said to me, they were like, 90% of pregnancies are not planned. To be completely honest, like, even when I left there and I felt so good about myself, me being me, like, I'm a Christian, I love Jesus. My first response is usually just to like pray about stuff. And like, even though I prayed about it, like, it was just so nice to be able to speak to somebody and just be like, who's not part of my family, who's not anyone, who's just gonna say, you know what, this is gonna be fine. In terms of like how I wanted it to be, like, we've got a great home, like great family around us. It's not like it's gonna be like this huge massive struggle. Like, I'm so blessed to be able to say that, and I'm so blessed to be able to kind of like have that reassurance. And it was kind of a bit of a selfish thing that I didn't want to be having the baby now. I remember being in the car on my way back, and I remember just like praying, like, hey God, like, this, please, like, he best be a world changer, because like, this is just crazy. And it was just like, yeah, like that whole experience like was just a whirlwind of emotions, to be honest. So, but now, like, I'm 20 whatever weeks I am, I think I'm 25 weeks, like, so I'm X amount of weeks away from giving birth, and like, my pregnancy's been amazing so far. But I just wanted to just share that story with you guys. So if any of that story has like resonated with you, or you want to know more, or you want to kind of ask anything else, like, please like this video, comment down below. Please follow my Instagram if you want to know more, if you want to see baby pictures, if you want to see baby clothes. All of that is happening right over there on my Instagram. And if you want more from me, more from like my life, more about like my pregnancy story, videos that are going to be coming soon, then please subscribe to my channel below. We'll do this thing together. Bye.